Welcome back to Matchday Live in a very happy studio. I'm joined by Keith Curle, Gareth Taylor and by Shaun Goater. And breathe. So City, 3 games, 3 wins in the Premier League, the only team to have a 100% record so far. And I don't know about you all, but that felt like me towards the end of the game, that wasn't 3 games in. It felt like it was 3 games before the end of the season. It felt like a must-win end of season, frantic game at the end of there, and I absolutely loved it. Keith, perhaps we didn't get our score corrections right, but we won. It was frantic. What did you make of the game?
Yeah, it's statistically everything points to a comfortable victory, but goals change games, and again, I think there's lessons to be learned. Carl, no one's got to tell Carl Walker, like, you don't do that, Carl. No need to do it. Likewise, then the Sheffield United left back, it's one of those, your team's just scored you 1-1. It's like, just boot the ball, make a challenge, don't get robbed. But great character. There's a unity, like just watching Carl there on the TV. It shows good mental. It's not a blame culture. It's one of those, I made a mistake. Right, how can I rectify it? And it's one of those, I'll go and operate in the opposition's half. I'll make something happen. Excellent. Great tenacity to go and win the ball back, chase down that lost course, and then good quality ball into the box.
Kyle Walker was a man possessed after the Sheffield United goal. He wanted to make immediate amends, and he did, didn't he, Gareth?
Yeah, he certainly did. I mean, you could see how furious he was, and he did so well, and obviously recovering, and then makes the mistake of back heeling. It was a game when no back heels worked at all today. There were 3 or 4 of them we saw, and second half had so much in it. It was there was a lot going on. The spaces opened up a little bit more, certainly when Haaland scored. Brilliant work from Jack. And then, you look at it, and it's why football's amazing. And going back to what we were saying earlier about how important Rodri is, I think to come in and score a goal like that, particularly when it looks like there's going to be 1-1, is a disappointing outcome after controlling the game so much. Sheffield's plan nearly worked. Yeah, fantastic win. And, they've played probably better and been more effective in front of goal on other occasions, but it's really important to get those points on the board, and I think it's the only team that's gone the first 3 games. Yeah, brilliant start, brilliant.
Rodri hit that ball so hard, I thought it was just going to go through the net, just create a hole and just go straight through, Shaun. Phil Foden made a big difference when he came on as well, which you particularly will be so happy about.
Yes, and this is what Phil brings. He brings this energy, he brings the quality. He has so much quality that when he received the ball, there's a part of me thinks he actually meant to control it for Rodri. But I've got to believe that this was a miscontrol, and Rodri's just in the right place to strike it in. But yeah, Phil, again, receiving balls, driving at them, asking questions, getting in those little pockets, bringing that energy. And you could see throughout the team, it was in that last sort of 7-8 minutes, it was like, we're not drawing this game. We've got to get another goal, and they're going for it. And well done to Sheffield United, because they really made a game of it. They really did. So
you've got
really
Rodri,
exciting.
You've got Rodri, your sitting midfield player, arriving in the box.
Yeah,
excellent.
And Rodri had more shots than anyone. I think he's probably ended up with about five shots today, something around there. But the old left footer. So we're pleased that it went in, because I jumped up. So I was like, yes. So pleased to see that go in.
City had 30 shots today, by the way. 9 of them on target, 80% of the possession. FG and Michael Brown are pitch side at Bramall Lane. So let's go over to them now and see what they thought of the game.
Well, City win another game. Here we are at Bramall Lane. It was a tough second half, wasn't it, Brownie?
Yeah, extremely tough. Obviously, City were made to work, be patient, wait. Jack Grealish was getting a little bit frustrated, wasn't he? Then he squared it up, he waited, pushed it past Bogel. Wonderful ball there, Haaland was. And then, obviously, the equaliser came. You wonder, is it going to be City's day? And as it was, Kyle Walker tried to make up for that mistake, bombing up and down that right-hand side. Ball comes across, Foden involved. And what about the winner? An incredible finish.
He just doesn't score bad goals, Rodri, at all, does he? You can see Jack Grealish behind us, getting the love he deserves from our supporters. He put in a shift today, didn't he, Brownie?
Yeah, he did. He wasn't safe. Bulldog was thinking as he got the better. It was a big foul early on, wasn't he, on him? And a big tackle, received the yellow card. And it was just behind us here, wasn't it? He squared him up, waited, and he just toyed. And at that point, pushed the line. Bulldog was saying, go on, go line. But it was just about the ball, the finesse. Just clipped it back post. Haaland had a couple of opportunities. I was thinking, it's not going to work for him today. It's not going to come. and there he was again.
He, of course, scores another goal, but they equalised. Close towards the end, you sort of think shades of Nottingham Forest last year. We played so good, created so many chances, it just wasn't happening, and then that wonder strike.
It was a brilliant strike again. So many times we've discussed about Rodri's contribution. What does he do? How does he get involved? And it's that left foot, you know, and he comes inside. It's a great finish, that. Very, very difficult. Alvarez had an unbelievable chance just before that. Tried to go for accuracy to bring it across with that right foot. He leaned back and it went up. This time it was slightly over, but it was still going now, that be over the net.
What a strike. We didn't expect that. What an evening it's been at Bramall Lane. Brownie, thank you for joining us pitchside.
Well, thank you.
Let's head back to a very happy studio.
Thank you, FG, and thank you, Michael Browger. It was loud there. You could hear the City fans always, the away City fans always incredible there. So much to talk about in that second half. I'm trying to remember everything that happened. If we go back and we think about the first goal, though, Shaun, the look of relief on Haaland's face after he gets the goal was he was just so happy that he'd scored. But in particular, Jack Grealish was so instrumental in it.
I really love what Jack does there, because Jack just gets into a standstill position. He's just got the ball. The thing about that position is the attacker knows when he wants to go, or Jack knows when he wants to go to his left. Bulldog is saying, yeah, you're going line, but that fraction of a second is the difference. But not only does he do that, it's the ability to just clip that ball and eliminate the goalkeeper, because I think him going on his left foot, probably slightly weaker foot, it's really exceptional in how he just eliminates the goalkeeper. And as a centre forward, being on the blind side of the centre back, Haaland's just saying thank you very much, and you can see like in his expression after, it was just like a relief, because he hasn't scored the penalty. He probably hasn't. He's only had probably one or two shots, but they weren't clear shots. With that, for him, he's like, this is the chance I won it. Yeah, and the one thing I'll say as well, I think he's got 3 goals now in three games. Last season he had 4 in 3, so you probably think he's had a disappointing start.
yeah, just the average of 1 goal a game. City, by the way, so from our first 3 Premier League games, of course, this season, 100% record, 9 points we are on. We've not won our first 3 games since Pep Guardiola's first season back in 2016-2017, so that bodes very, very well, I do hope. Jack Grealish's performance, I don't know why they were booing him, Gareth. I never get it. I don't know what he's like. Why do they continue? Wait till he plays for England and they'll be cheering him. I have no idea. But as we were talking about there, the way that he is so patient there, he's waiting for the right moment, he's holding onto the ball into Haaland, who it was like an absolute bread and butter. I imagine Haaland could do that, could get that high, could get his head on that with his eyes closed. What did you make of the goal?
Yeah, really good play from Jack. I think, he's transformed his game, I think, since he's come here and started working with his team and with Pep. I think previously at Villa, he was obviously a very good player, but his discipline now is very good. He knows and waits for the right moment to take the defender on. He knows when he's overloaded and needs to keep the ball and move the possession to the other side. But it was interesting there because he received the ball from Kovacic, who played a bit higher in the second half. So they pulled back Kyle Walker, kept Bernardo wide. I think that probably obviously would have come from Pep. I think he's obviously watching at home, seeing that, we probably need to change things slightly here. We don't need 2 holding midfielders. We can push Kovacic a bit higher. And yeah, it was a moment of quality. And yeah, of course, Haaland is going to feel great after that. He's had to put up with a lot today in terms of not a huge amount of service. He's had some good chances, but, and he's been roughed up a little bit by their centre-backs, which he enjoys. But yeah, he's there when it matters, and I think he's a real focal point for the team. But yeah, when you see that goal, when you see Jack Robinson, the centre-back for Sheffield United, it's really interesting because you can see it on the slow motion, and once the ball clears him and he's backpedaling, and he just knows, and you see his eyes sink, he knows that Haaland's behind him. It's horrible as a defender because you're going back and thinking, I can't reach, and then you're just waiting for it to hit the net. And it's really interesting to see that on the slow motion. It's
a moment of relief for Haaland, but it was a moment of relief for us all as well, because we'd had quite a few chances up until that point, Keith. And Fotheringham in goal for Sheffield United made a couple of incredible saves, particularly the one where he I don't know how he got his hand up there.
When Haaland dinked him.
Yeah.
He'd gone down and set, and then the hand comes up. No, whereas his stature-wise, he's not the biggest goalkeeper, but he's excellent reflexes, and he prized himself in and around the box. No, again, I think just touching there on the mentality of players, Haaland, you do get some centre forwards. If it's not going their way, missed a penalty, a couple of chances gone astray, they go missing. Haaland won't. He wants to be in the right place at the right time and try to do the right thing, and that's a strength of mentality that good centre forwards, great centre forwards need.
I think he's one of those as well. He's a rare kind of player that he doesn't seem to be bothered that he's not involved in the play.
No.
You know, he could be frustrated, but a lot of players these days, if they don't feel like they're getting touches on the ball, they don't feel like they're contributing. But what he is doing, obviously, if he's not getting the ball, is he's attracting players to him, and that frees up players elsewhere. And I think if he gets 1 or 2 or 3 chances a game like he has done today, and he scores 1, could have had more, he's got to be happy because he's doing a really good job for the team. And there's not many players who are like that. They really feel that they have to be in contact with the ball to be feeling like they're making a contribution.
Well, a man that certainly made a contribution today, and of course he made a contribution in Istanbul as well, is Rodri. He scored the winning goal today, and he's been talking to us after the game. Here's his thoughts.
They mark a lot, and then he missed a penalty, not used. Very, very glad for this, of course. Always when you score in a late goal, it seems it's even better. But I think it was a great effort for the team. I think we analysed so good the game today here. Such a difficult stadium. Great credit for them, the defending, the spirit. I think we did a great job. At the end, football is like this. We have to be fair. It was a big mistake in the goal, but at the end, how we overcome the situation is the most important, so we move on.
And I wanted to highlight the first goal as well. Jack's little bit of quality, and then Erling's mentality to get on the end of it. He hadn't had an easy day up until that point with the penalty and being so man-marked by defenders.
No, I think he was great in the sense that he never lost the face. Sometimes I was speaking to him to don't drop, to don't, because sometimes it's frustrating. He's surrounded for many players, of course, and they grab him. They mark a lot, and then he missed a penalty, not used for him, but at the end he scored. He was decisive, and this is what the top players do.
We're well used to teams sitting back and trying to defend deep against us, but can we learn anything from this game to take forward?
Yeah, I think we can learn that. Of course, we know there's games that we're not going to have many chances. At the end, we could score, but we have to try to avoid these little things and not giving them nothing, because in this league is like this. But yeah, in terms of the things we worked to this week was what we do. So happy for that.
And we're the only side in the Premier League with a 100% record after 3 games. How proud are you of that?
Yeah, I think it's a great start for us. I think that the team, even though we didn't have a big pre-season, lots of games last season, finish late and then start very soon. The team is great, even though we have some injuries that we need to come back. We need to come back Pep. So it's a moment that we've been together, because not everyone is with us, but it seems that this is good, so we have to keep going.
And you mentioned there no Pep. What's it been like without the boss this week?
Well, of course, always when you don't have your coach, it's different. You have to give a little bit more of yourself in terms of focus, in terms of the team, and don't let the lads, you have to be focused on the next game. So yeah, it was good because the staff is great, even though Pep is not here. So good work for all of us.
Rodri, thank you. Well played today.
Thank you very much.
That was Rodri post-match there, of course, with the winning goal today. An absolute and utter rocket from him. I want to talk about the kind of mentality of the team. Of course, City, Sheffield United equalised, a mistake that we mentioned from Kyle Walker. I imagine a very rare mistake that we'll never see again. Within 2 minutes, we equalised, Shaun. And from the second they scored, there suddenly was a sense in the team of, no, this isn't right. We're gonna sort this out. And yeah. It was incredible after that. What does that say about the mentality?
Well, there was no pointing fingers. It's like we're winners. I think there's just a look around. It's a look around at that point. It's like we're not accepting a draw. We've got to do what we've got to do. And Walker was instrumental in that. Like he for one could have been one that's like, I'm the one that's caused us a draw, feeling sorry for himself, and then not doing the part that played in winning the ball back. Being upset, he could have actually fouled the player, but the player's going to lean on Walker. He's dipped out of it, going and won the ball, and then going on to produce the assist. So the mentality of this team, I think, through winning through the last, for seasons, this group have just been winning. They have this understanding of what it takes to win. And I think they just, don't worry, they're all saying, don't worry, Walker, I got you. And everybody's just doing their part to make sure that, we push on.
I just loved it. I love seeing the mentality that they all have sometimes in the way that they all celebrated together. It was just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And of course, that mentality is a big part of the reason why we won everything last year, and of course, why we won the Champions League. And on Thursday, the Champions League draw for this season takes place, the group stage draw. Of course, as we look to defend our trophy. I still love saying that. Matchday Live will have a special show for you on Thursday. So the draw starts at 5 p.m. We'll be with you from 4:45. I will be here alongside Nader Manua. We'll also have David Mooney, and we will also have Michael Brown. He's going to come back from Sheffield and join us here. We will be watching the draw, and we will be talking about everything, letting you know everything that's happening, talking you through all the different parts, the different situations that can happen. So it is Thursday. The draw starts at 5 p.m. So 32 teams will feature in the draw. There is still 6 to be decided because those final Champions League playoff games take place this week. In terms of British teams, Rangers are in that playoff game that takes place either Tuesday or Wednesday. So 32 teams, they're split into 4 different pots. Of course, as the holders, we would be in pot 1. We would be in pot 1, of course, as English champions anyway. So we sit in pot 1. We cannot draw any other teams from pot 1, and we cannot draw any teams from England at this stage. It will be quite complicated. It's one of those where they have so many different balls, but we will be here on Thursday to talk you through it. Also, on the same show, when they're doing the Champions League draw, they'll also be giving out the awards for UEFA Men's Player of the Year. That is down to a final 3, and that involves Lionel Messi, Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland. They'll also be giving out the award for the UEFA Men's Coach of the Year, which is also down to 3. Of course, Pep is nominated, Inzaghi from Inter is nominated, and Spalletti from Napoli is nominated for that as well. So there's a good chance that we may be picking up some awards there. They'll also be doing the Women's Player and the Women's Manager. There is 2 Spanish girls nominated for that, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing if one of them wins and what might be said in an acceptance speech. But very much looking forward to this on Thursday. The Champions League is back, gents. Is there anybody you fancy, Gareth? Is there any team that, with special memories or a place that you would like the team to go?
No, I don't think there's any really kind of easy groups. People will look at groups and think, well, they're maybe you get some inexperienced teams who've not got a real pedigree of being in the Champions League. But I think from what you've said with the rules around, obviously no English team will be in there with City. I think it's an exciting time, and the fact that we are the holders, we're defending our trophy. No one will want to be in the same group as City. So I think, no, not really. I don't think there's any kind of team. It seems to be strongly over the last few years of Portuguese teams, French teams, more recently German teams in the group. So yeah, I think it's one for everybody else to fear rather than ourselves.
We haven't mentioned a German team there. Union Berlin have qualified for the Champions League for the first time in their history. An incredible story that club has, from the fans fundraising to save the club not too long ago to then qualifying for the Champions League. I think City fans, Keith, would love a Christmas trip to a Berlin market and some Glühwein.
the beer festival.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Gareth just touched on it there. I think luckily we're in a position where nobody wants City to be in City's group, but there's a reason why. And again, the important thing is how you're doing week in, week out, building up to those massive, important games. You've got to keep good habits.
Celtic, I think, would be a nice draw as well, Shaun. Be interesting. Is anyone you fancy?
It would be. I mean, because there's always, you always have that debate with regards to Rangers and Celtic, if they were playing in the Premier League and where would they fare. I'm sure that will have a great interest, certainly for both fans. I like when the German teams do come, because they bring an offensive game, but no team really wants to play City. The target is on our back because it's our trophy, we're defending it, but they know any team that will try to take it off us throughout the course of it is going to have to play really exceptional throughout the tournament.
I mean, pot 2 looks absolutely insane, by the way. So Real Madrid are in pot 2, along with Inter Milan, Borussia Dortmund, Atletico Madrid, RB Leipzig, Porto, and also United or Arsenal are in there, but obviously we can't draw them. That is one heck of a group. I would like to not play Borussia Dortmund again. I feel like we always end up drawing them, Shaun. I feel like I'd like some variety in my life. Yeah,
they are a good team, but I for one love facing good teams because I love seeing when we actually are playing teams that give us a bit of a task, because for somehow, some way, Pep, being for me the best manager in the world, finds a way. And again, they're a team that have a threat. They have some quality, but we have played them quite a few times. So it will be, perhaps he needs to just find a way. Like whether it's a Spanish team, he finds the weaknesses as to how we can expose and get the result. His German team, his eye for seeing the opposition and how they play and where we can find advantages is absolutely amazing.
Truly, truly is. So we'll be with you on Thursday from 4:45 for that draw that takes place at 5 o'clock, alongside giving out the awards to the UEFA Manager and Player of the Year. We'll have all of that for you right here. And then we look forward to Saturday, and a rare Saturday home 3 p.m. kickoff. We take on Fulham in the 4th Premier League game of the season. Of course, the last one before we have that short international break in September. Fulham had a draw against Arsenal yesterday at Arsenal, a late equaliser for Fulham as well. Mixed start to the season. They were beaten by Brentford the game before that, but they beat Everton in the first game. Looking forward to a nice 3 p.m. Saturday kickoff, Gareth.
Yeah, it's very rare, isn't it, these days? But yeah, of course, like you say, I think Fulham are a decent outfit. They pushed an Arsenal team yesterday. They could have won the game late on in overtime and could have lost the game as well. But, to go to the Emirates and take a draw and take points off of a very good team, I think it's set up for a nice one next weekend. Lost Mitrovic, have signed some players, so I think it's an exciting game. And yeah, nice for the supporters, because, without the supporters, we don't have the game. And I think it's just great for supporters to go back to the Etihad Saturday at 3 o'clock. It's tradition, isn't it?
Can't wait. After we had the Friday night game, the Saturday night game, the Sunday game today, it's just a joy to play at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, Keith.
Yeah, definitely. Probably going back to old school when it was always 3 o'clock, Saturdays, Tuesdays. No, I'm probably a little bit of a traditionalist. Like the end of the week, even like coaching and management is like, it's one of those, you want that Thursday, Friday build up to a Saturday. Then when it gets put back to a Sunday or a Monday, it's one of those, it drags your week out.
A really important game as well in terms of that international break after it, Shaun. To go into that international break with 4 victories, 100% record, before the team will be apart for sort of 10 days, 11 days. Really important to win.
Yes, and again, here we want to come back on the other side of the international break, being able to pick things up and go, right, brilliant. We've had 4 wins. Now we kick on again. So. Yeah, Pep will want the boys to make sure they get a result, but it just goes to show you Fulham can be overlooked. I think some fans, the City fans, will say, well, it's Fulham, it's a win. And I think the one thing within the dressing room will be, listen, this will be a tough game. We need to prepare right and make sure we do it right.
Yeah, absolutely. They've had 2 red cards in their last 2 games as well, Fulham. Did well to stay up last year as well. Do you think they'll be looking to build on that this season, Gareth? Is survival the key for them again, or are they looking up above?
I think for a team like Fulham, it'll always be survival, and then it's look to push on from there, because you'll be surprised that once you get Premier League safety, I think you can start to then look up a little bit more and start to look at those European places. But yeah, like you say, they've collected a few cards this season. Marco Silva has as well. I think he's gone 3 yellow cards in 3 games, so he might not be there. Pep might not be there. He might not be there either. But yeah, decent team, and they're starting to build something there. And I think they've got a good manager and good players, and they're starting to establish themselves as a Premier League club. But that's really difficult, and you've got to be really careful with that, because you can be complacent, and everyone's trying their real best to stay in this brilliant league.
And keep an eye out as well, Blues, because Fulham play Tuesday night. They're taking on Spurs. That is in the Carabao Cup. So that is the second round of the Carabao Cup, which all of the Premier League teams that didn't qualify for Europe come into the competition at this stage. So they've got that game on Tuesday to keep an eye out for as well. So Keith, thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure.
As always, thank you so much. Gareth, pre-season is well and truly kicked in now.
It has, yeah. It's going well, Shaun, yeah?
Well, yes, it's getting pretty good.
You're getting worked hard?
Getting worked hard. Yeah, we're getting good.
Shaun, thank you as always. Pleasure to see you all, and thank you all for joining us on Matchday Live today as City make it 3 out of 3 in the Premier League. Now, before we go, we're going to give you a little snippet of the new Together 3 documentary. This will be coming out soon. It's currently in production. It's where we send cameras behind the scenes for a whole season and give you an absolutely unbelievable behind the scenes look at how City won the treble. So we'll be back on Thursday for the Champions League draw, 4:45. But before then, enjoy this.
If we win the treble, yeah, what are you going to do with that? Because it's a treble, surely you've got to go.
They won the title last season. Since added Erling Haaland to the mix. I mean, are they unstoppable this season?
Lights, music, go.
The time has come to bring on the champions.
This documentary is going to be the best ever.
Come.
She doesn't know her dad's Jack Grealish.
Cross comes in from another Foden, 1-0. Absolutely brilliant stuff.
I think we can go all the way.
We will get the treble.
They're in a proper title race here.
You will see.
What did you make of Man City? They're losing ground and Arsenal who are absolutely flying.
It doesn't look right, does it, at City at the moment?
To achieve things, always you have to have correct portion of obsession to desire.
First part of the season was great, but it's not enough, guys.
We can beat them all.
The more relaxed I am, the better I feel.
You want to play the final of the Champions League?
That's the best half of football I have ever seen.
Keep going. It's so good.
On towards Alvarez! We're all going to Istanbul! Manchester City look like true champions.
There is one treble. Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup.
We're going to play the final. It's been uncomfortable, guys. I am in Wembley Stadium. I am in Istanbul.
Might this be the biggest FA Cup final of all time?
I think they don't want to destroy the treble, guys. Every single minute we have to be there.
If that goal, the ball just went perfectly, onto my foot.
Tomorrow we play for the immortality.
Will it be a treble or a seismic shock?
It's once in a lifetime, guys. I know how you dream. This situation, we are not going to leave it again.